Minecraft's vibrant visual upgrade and the Happy Ghast will be available on this date. June the 24th is when you'll have the new saddle crafting recipe, the end improvements, and my beloved the beacon upgrade. But I know you're wondering, how can we possibly know that, and what happens to your world after it's come out? Well, today I'll answer both of those questions because this is the release date of the summer drop explained. Although first I'd like to quickly remind you can subscribe to the channel to see more Minecraft update news, but we don't just tell you what's happening, I actually explain what it is that we know, so if you want to, you can follow it yourself. Anyway, Minecraft updates used to be semi-random, and predicting when a Java update would come out was like predicting lottery numbers or when your bus would arrive. But then came along parity, which brought with it marketing, unification, and so now Minecraft wants to market its updates for both Bedrock and Java at the exact same time with the exact same trailers like this one. This trailer was a great way to market the new features in the Armored Paws drop, but the only reason it worked is because they released that same set of features on both Java and Bedrock at the same time. And so unlike Java updates, which could release at any time of any day because Minecraft controls the distribution themselves, Bedrock updates have to be signaled well in advance because they're coordinating across so many different platforms. And so if the summer drop is another Bedrock and Java simultaneous release, as every drop so far has been, we're at the point now where the update has shown exactly when it's coming out for Bedrock, and therefore we know that release date probably applies to Java too, like it has for all previous game drops. Now it's worth asking, when will we have that release date actually revealed by an official source and not just some guy? And interestingly, we actually already have, because this is Josephine Linkvist, the UX director for Minecraft, in a now deleted tweet saying that the Spring to Life game drop comes today, like it did by the way, March 25th, 2025, with its delightful trailer, but also the summer drop updates will be coming in June. Now deleting this tweet either says that this was inaccurate and they had to remove it because it wasn't allowed, or they had to remove it specifically because it was accurate, and usually Minecraft prefer to do official announcements on their own behest so they can keep the hype for themselves. And so when will the official announcement for the summer drop and its release date actually be? Well, I think we actually know this one because the Spring to Life game drop had its announcement at Minecraft Live. That is a twice yearly event now, and it means that we're not expecting the next one until October, so it means that they can't do another Minecraft Live to announce it, and so they could just announce the update on a random day, or we already know that the Xbox Summer Game Showcase is going to feature all of the first-party Xbox game studios, and therefore this would be the perfect time for Mojang to show off how Minecraft has had a huge graphical upgrade, something you can take advantage of, by the way, on both your Xbox One and Xbox Series X consoles. I do believe that Mojang are going to be there, not just showing off their brand new summer drop, but we likely might see our first glimpse of the brand new game that Minecraft have been working on literally since Legends was discontinued. I am so excited to learn what that game is, but I'm also excited to see how the summer drop is actually marketed, because it does contain lots of features, many of which are going to be useful for your survival worlds, but obviously vibrant visuals is the headline, it's the jaw dropper, and it's going to be the thing they probably market most heavily. So that is going to be a big curiosity, but they are going to give us the release date most likely at that same time that the trailer drops. And so now here comes the question, when is that release date going to be? And I said at the start of the video that June the 24th is when you'd have the updates in your hand, but technically speaking, it's possible that the update actually comes out a week before that, and so you'd have the update for a full week before then, or potentially if something goes horribly wrong, it could be delayed further. So why do we know that it's a release date that is either going to be this day or 1 week either side? Well, it's because Minecraft Bedrock updates follow a very strict and well-documented procedure that basically guarantees it releases on all of the platforms at the same time. Because Bedrock is a cross-platform game, they cannot release on the Switch without releasing on the Xbox, because if they did, you would have the Happy Ghast there, while your Xbox friends would not have it. This is not just going to make them sad, but it will also make them unable to play with you on your worlds. So they make sure they release on all platforms at the same time by doing what is called the certification process about 3 weeks before they are ready to release the update. This means we have an almost guaranteed period between when they finish up the update, when it has its final preview and beta, and when it has its end release date. If I show you this spreadsheet that we made to track this, you can see it's remarkably similar. So this is the release date of all of the updates. This is the number of previews and betas it's had. As you can see, most of them have had 5, 6, or 7, and then this is the time between the preview/beta and the final release. So yeah, looking at this column, you can see that 3 weeks is the standard time between the last preview and beta coming out and the end update coming out, with the exceptions being the Tricky Trials update, which took 4, and the weirdly, the Garden Awakens only took 2, but 3 weeks is by far the most common time. And then you can see that therefore all you've got to know is the last preview preview and beta time to know the most likely release date for the actual update. These tend to be on Tuesdays, and so that already narrows out most of the month of June, but if we can then say that it has to be at least 3 weeks between the last preview and beta and the update coming out, then we know that even if they didn't do another preview and beta, then the update would likely be coming out on June the 10th. However, we are fairly certain that's not going to be true because there is almost always going to be a last preview and beta that makes itself obvious to the community. This tends to have just a few lines on the changelog, and so if Mojang releases another preview and beta next week, that would push the 3-week time period over to June the 17th, and so that is when we will most likely see the Minecraft update. I wanted to be a tiny bit pessimistic with the thumbnail and title of this video, just so that if you get to this point, you're like, oh, it's actually, or you know, even the little hook here, it's actually even sooner than we thought. However, I will say 2 things. One, that is assuming that the next beta is the last one. It's likely, and even the most probable answer, based on the number of previews and betas most updates have. However, it does tend to be that the last preview and beta is there to fix all the critical bugs before it goes out, and they might decide at the last minute, like, okay, let's just do one more of these, really make sure that it's stable, so we could end up with another preview, even if it's an emergency preview. They did this for the Spring to Life drop. There was a preview that existed only on the PlayStation 5 edition of the game, but they still had to roll this out, and so it did delay the update by 1 more week. And similarly, something could happen in the certification process. Presumably, that's what happened with the Tricky Trials update. At some point, they decided, yeah, we should release this slightly later down the line. They even released it on a Thursday there instead. So it could be that there is a slight delay to this process, and it even goes, if both of those delays happen at the same time, or even if they just decide to do a lot of bug fixing in this one, it means that instead of seeing the update on June the 17th, the most likely date, we might see June the 24th, or even June the 31st. That's not a real date that exists. It's actually July the 1st. It took me a moment to work that one out when I was thinking through this. I think July the 1st is very unlikely. If it was June the 31st, it would be more, and so I'll stick June the 31st somewhere in the thumbnail just for some fun. But I do think that, in general, the way we could describe this update is being on June the 17th with a small possibility, maybe 25% chance, of moving over to June the 24th, and if they decide to make some huge changes, or just decide to fix a bunch of bugs, then it could slip even further to July the 1st, or I guess if they really go against the grain, they could release it anytime they want. If they change the thing that they have been doing for the past 2 years, this update could come out anytime, but based on all the analysis that we can see and that we can do, Mojang are going to be releasing this update, presumably June the 17th or June the 24th, and we're going to have to wait until June the 9th for them to shine a light on that actual release date. Yeah, I had a torch just for this. It's been unpowered for a while, though. It's sad. But it was totally worth it. I have a green shirt on for the green screen, and amazingly, it actually works, besides this. But still, I'm impressed. I hope that you are impressed, though, with our ability to work out update release dates. Even though Mojang are very cagey with these, I think it's really cool to know about, both because you might want to know when to expect the new features, but also if, like me, you want to be around for the update, and maybe you want to travel or something like that, it's really crucial that you get a decent prediction, and so usually we are correct with these. I've been wrong a few times. I think with the Spring to Life drop, they released a day later because it's a Wednesday for some reason. I think sometimes a drop gets delayed by a week or two, but now you know the right vibe of when the update is coming out, which is the exciting news that I'm sure you came here for, and yeah, it means that if, like me, you want to travel and be sure that you're not going to miss a big Minecraft date, well, Minecraft is coming out for Switch 2 on June the 5th, there's the Summer Games Showcase on June the 8th, and then probably the update coming out on Tuesday the 17th of June, or the 24th of June, which gives me a nice little week in there if I want to travel and not be stressed that I'll have to, you know, like whip out a mobile recording setup, but of course, as always, I'll remain ready for that, just like how you'll probably want to remain ready for this update. I know a lot of people subscribe to the channel and like to follow the news because they have a long-term world, and so what is the news about this update for that? Well, unlike the previous drops, this one makes very few world generation changes, and so it's the most friendly update for existing worlds yet. There are 2 new generation changes, one of which is the saddle no longer appearing in chests, the other of which is the dried ghast appearing in the soul sand valleys, but you can actually craft both of these items now, and so if you have a decent number of resources, as most long-term survival worlds do, actually you don't need to go out and hunt for anything, which is great news, I think. Makes for a very chill summer drop, and so if you want to prepare for the update, I think that's an entirely different question, but you don't need to worry about not exploring parts of your world, because, again, until the autumn drop, or the autumn update, you don't have to stress about world changes, which is the great news. Anyway, I hope that you're looking forward to this next update. I know I am. I will be covering it on this channel, like I always do. This is something we've been doing for years now at this point, but there's still just this huge excitement knowing that not only in this case are we getting a brand new transport method, but I'm so hyped to know that, like, oh yeah, and as well as the transport method, Minecraft's visuals will change forever, and so there's a hugely interesting decision everyone has to make about, do you turn on vibrant visuals by default, or is it just a little treat that you still use sometimes? I don't know what my answer is going to be, and so if you want to help me on that one, please do leave a comment down below, because for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on June the 17th, if not a week or two later. On June the 31st. Definitely a real date. Looking forward to it. They should alter the calendars so that Mojang can stick to their June release date. In case it does get delayed, that's what needs to happen. But yeah, speaking of things that are going to happen, this video is over, and I'll see you next time. Bye!